What is up, friends, lovers, enemies of the state? Today we are back with another queer book review. This month we read Shame is an Ocean I Swim Across by Mary Lambert. This is poetry. It's by... I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Mary Lambert is, yes, that singer who did Same Love. I sure as heck thought it was Amanda Lambert? There's some other Lambert who's a singer. It's a very common last name. Yes, oh yes. I did give it a 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Mary Lambert, I believe, is bisexual, but I could be wrong about that. In her poems, she really only describes relationships with women, so she might be a lesbian. The problem I found with this book of poetry is just the same kind of problem that I find with most poetry, and not most poetry, okay. And when I say most poetry, I mean just like your average run-of-the-mill poetry, not like actual good poetry. 'Cause there is good poetry, like there's really good poetry out there. There's good poets that I know personally. Like, this just really wasn't it. This was really disappointing. And I did find that a ton of structural elements to the poems in this book were very much just straight up stolen from Sam Sachs and, like, not appropriated in a, like, creative way that it could be like good theft. It was like lazy theft. And it was also really disappointing because the subject matter that she talks about is really, it's stuff that usually makes good poetry, you know? Like, she was talking about really, really painful personal experiences, anything from breakups to her relationship with her mother to multiple rapes that happened in her life, to a really bad car accident. And basically all of the poetry was just like fucking boring. These are like actually interesting topics. It's not like, today I cooked myself a dinner and thought I'd like to text John. No, it was like about basically dying, which is usually interesting. I really, really, really hate cliches in poetry. I don't usually mind cliches in fiction, just because, like, everyone's lives are the same. Yes. The whole point of poetry is to say things in innovative ways, really just unique ways of expressing ideas. And Miranda Lambert definitely failed on that one. She writes too much like a songwriter or a lyricist because there's just too many fucking words, which is usually the problem that can take... When you cut down on the amount of words that are in a poem, you can take an average poem to a great poem, you know? So, like, just for an example, I will read to you, like, just a few lines that are on the back of the book so that I'm not, like, spoiling. I don't know. You can't really spoil poetry. But she writes, imagine your heart as a Hitchcock movie, okay? Imagine a shower curtain. My brain is a lurking shadow, crooked, sometimes not there. Literally, if you just remove the fucking word imagine, it would just be so much better. So instead, it would read, your heart as a Hitchcock movie, a shower curtain, my brain as, and then it should be my brain as, not my brain is. My brain as a lurking shadow, crooked, sometimes not there. It just is so much smoother. And you don't need words like imagine in poetry because it just pulls the reader out of the scene that you're creating, because instead of just being like, X is Y, which is like, that's the metaphor, you're like, but like, I mean, maybe like, what if X was Y? Like, would that be okay? I don't give a fuck if it's okay. Just say X is Y. Your heart as a Hitchcock movie. If you are imagining it, you're taking too much time and pulling the reader out. This is like one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, you really just need to cut down on the words. Like, the and is should rarely be used in poetry because it's not about concrete things. You're supposed to be connecting. Poetry, in my opinion, should be connecting dissonance to create really vivid images and really vivid sounds and feelings. And Miranda Lambert definitely failed in that. Her poetry was like fine. Like, there were metaphors and similes like there some of the time, and a lot of the just the structure, the phrases were too lengthy in a way that like you can get away with in songs because you need to fit like, and I'm saying this because she wrote in free verse. So like usually there is a certain number of beats that you need to hit in a song because you have like a melody and a beat and a tempo and whatnot. And you can have like a beat and tempo in poetry, but the whole point of free verse is that you don't have that. She doesn't have that, and it's too wordy. And so then it just ends up reading like prose because there's like a lack of dissonance and too much of like, the dog is the monster. Like, what if you just said, dog is monster? The dog, comma, monster. So then when you read it, it would be the dog monster. But it also makes you think because it's still like a little bit of a play on words. She does still have like really, really good lines. Well, okay. It's very rare, but there are good lines in here. So, in one poem that's like in the middle of the book, she says, "The sky is a melon and I am a brick at high velocity." That's great. That's awesome. Like, what does this mean? But at the same time, like, you taste it, you feel it, you can, like, you just know. Like, it's these shattered sort of images that you can almost put together, which is the point that she's trying to get across, because she's also talking about like a car accident, and she references Jackson Pollock, who, like, if you know what Jackson Pollock's paintings look like, then what I'm saying will make a little bit more sense to you. She also just like has a line in a poem like early into the book, which sounds like straight out of my mouth. She wrote, "I know girls who are low rise," which is like exactly what I would say. Like taking something that you wear and then saying that you are that thing. So I am like not wild about reading The Summer of Jordi Perez, and I also like really want to read these books about social justice and some books about like the Jewish sort of theological understanding of justice and basis for it. That's like really interesting to me right now. So there's a chance we might take October off, and then just like I'll start again in November. But that is like not decided yet. So just like keep your eyes and ears peeled, mostly your eyes, because it will be in the Goodreads group if I decide to skip a month. Also, you've probably noticed I've been really like just slow and infrequent with uploads. That's because I have a full-time job. And, you know, I also have two podcasts. So it's like I'm tired, or my mom visited, or I was moving, and I got sick. So it's just like life stuff. So, basically what I'm trying to say is like, you can't really expect consistent upload like rate for me. Like, you can't expect it to be like every single week or like a certain day every week, but like, we'll just kind of have to see how everything shakes out. That's just life. I do want to thank you guys for your support. Recently has been like actually really nice and honestly unexpected. It's been really cool and I love it, and I am going to figure out a way to film with a better background, probably my bedroom, because it just looks nicer. I just need I need something taller for the camera. Thank you guys so much for watching. You can go and follow me, and all my social media is down below. I also have 2 podcasts. One is called Avocado Toast, and that is news and politics geared towards people under 30, because like, why would you ever get older than 30? I'm just kidding. And my other podcast is about the L word, because I'm trash. And I do it with my very good friend who I talk about a lot on this channel, Hannah Moskowitz, who is a young adult author, and she's a lesbian, and she's bipolar, and is excellent and amazing, and she hates the L word, and I honestly, I love that for her. Surprise! Bulby has been behind me the whole time. Look at that sad face. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how could I resist you? Mamma mia, does it show again?